Check out Paddy Power's new and exclusive Cash Card Plus, available to use online, at ATMs, or even down the local. Paddy Power, you beauty.
Hi there, welcome along to the Racing Post Football Postcast. Bruce Millington, Dan Childs and Ian Wilkerson are assembled in the studio. The two lads will bring you wit and wisdom and winning tips, hopefully, on 6 live Premier League games this weekend. We're also going to have a look at the the League One playoffs, Champions League, all sorts of European football, and various other issues that are keeping us guessing between now and the end of the season, which is coming disappointingly close. We've also got Adrian Croak from Paddy Power with some winners as well and all the odds as well. So, before we get stuck into the weekend football, we'll do the 6 questions, 2 each for the lads, and then they get to answer the one they wish they were asked. I've got to protect my notes now, because last week it was revealed that Ian Wilkerson's a nosy bastard and looks at them, so I've got to hide them at this ridiculous angle. First question, Dan Childs. We're not messing about with these second legs. It's going to be Real v Juve. Yeah. Who's going to win it?
I think it's very, very tough to call. So I would just go. I'd look at the betting, and I would just go for whoever's the biggest price, which is Juventus at the moment. Shade of odds against. I think Juventus are slightly the better team defensively. Real are slightly the better team going forward. Really wouldn't like to say who out of the two. So odds against Juventus
should be a hell of a game, shouldn't it?
Should be fantastic. Yeah.
It's in Wales, isn't it?
Yeah, Millennium Stadium.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Joe Calzaghe will get a few earners out of that one, I think, the Italian-based Cardiff man. Adrian, have we got some betting yet on the Champions League?
Yeah, so it's 5-6 for Real Madrid. Juventus are 11-10, and you can take the others at 50s if you want them.
No, thanks. Okay, jolly good. That'll be good. I'm looking forward to that game immensely. Ian, you watch a lot of League One football in your guise as Charlton season ticket holder and regular Addicts fan. Who will go up from League One, because the playoffs commence tonight, don't they?
Yeah, I've seen Scunthorpe. We've put up in the paper. We've scored a lot of goals. I would think that they're going to have a good season, but there's very little to choose between the teams that are fighting for. I haven't seen much of any of them, but I'm quite impressed with the way that Fleetwood have coped with this season, where nobody fancied them to do well. They've ground out a lot of really good results away from home, which I think will be a big boost. And perhaps at the bottom of the market, speaking obviously before the games on Thursday, I think they might be a bit of value for, in a quartet that there doesn't seem much to choose between.
Good story, that Fleetwood, isn't it? I mean, 8 years ago, they barely had they were clearing dog poo off the pitch, weren't they? It was a real Parkside.
Almost relegated last season as well. So,
done an incredible
I think
job,
they can just keep going, and they've got a decent chance.
What are they best priced? What are you on the League One playoffs? Who's going to go up, Adrian?
Well, I fancy Millwall myself.
Do you? Why?
Well, unfortunately, they cost me a lot of money in the outright, but they seem to be the form team kind of going into it.
Oh, did you have a little each way going on there?
Yeah, I had Millwall to win that thing, and that was kind of lost, I think, around November when they just couldn't win a game to start the season.
But you're going to get it all back, are you, on the playoffs?
Hopefully here. For the odds at the moment, we've got Bradford at 7-4, Millwall 9-4, Scunthorpe are 7-2, and Fleetwood are 9-2.
I don't get that. I think you have to have a damn good reason to make a team as short as 7-4 in the playoffs. I'm not sure Bradford are that team. They may well go up, but that seems pretty skinny. Right, Adrian, your first question. How will Man United get on tonight against Celta Vigo?
I think they'll be probably very happy with a draw. I don't see them winning tonight. There's too many injuries in the team.
They're all back though, aren't they? I thought all these injured players are back now.
Pogba's back, yeah.
I liked it when they said Bailly's available, Pogba's back, Phil Jones is okay. That's good then.
I'm not sure you really want Phil Jones back.
There was a time when he was going to be the next Duncan Edwards, wasn't there? You know, Fergie's greatest ever signing.
Yeah.
I think Matter as well is available at least for
Matter's
the bench
back now
as well.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
They've missed him. What's the betting now, Adrian, on tonight's first leg?
On tonight's first leg, we've got Man United 5-4 to win it. The draw is 9-4, and Celta Vigo are 12-5.
And what would your advice be there, Adrian?
I'd nearly take Celta Vigo at the 12-5. They're very good at home. They were unlucky to lose to Real Madrid there this year. They put 4 past Barcelona in a thriller and won 4-3. So, yeah, I'd take Celta Vigo.
Didn't you put them up at 33s for this, Dan? Or was it Mark?
That was Mark, I think.
Mark Langdon's tipped him at 33s, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Because you're normally the UEFA Cup king, aren't you? But Lango's taken on your mantle, has he? OK, right, we've looked at League One. League Two title's very interesting, isn't it? Who's going to win that? So we've got Plymouth, Doncaster and Portsmouth.
Yeah,
and, any of them can win, can't they?
I
Who's it going
think
to be?
at this stage, the team in control is the one really to go for. And Plymouth, I think, go to Grimsby.
They go to Grimsby, they do,
season, so
mid-table Grimsby.
Yeah, I mean, Grimsby have picked up a bit since Russell Slade's gone in there. Had some good results at home, but I mean, you can imagine Plymouth will have like half the attendance there. You know, they take a lot of travelling fans generally, so they'll have a huge support there. They don't actually tend to dominate games, Plymouth. They're just the very efficient side, make the most of their chances, but I just fancy them to win this game. And actually, Doncaster, who is the next most likely team second, probably got a tougher game. Hartlepool away.
They're at Hartlepool who need it,
a
don't
poor
they?
side, but they're desperate at the moment. You know,
And
to
then
try and
Portsmouth
get something.
received Cheltenham today, or someone fairly
Yes,
lowly
yeah.
who've got nothing to play for.
Portsmouth should win their game, but I mean, to win and hope that the other two both slip up is going to be very difficult.
It's quite close to betting, I think, isn't it? What's the latest on League Two Championship, Adrian?
We've got Plymouth 4-6, Doncaster 5-2, and Portsmouth 7-2.
Okay, so there's still plenty of meat on that bone. Righto, Ian, again, I gave this big up as this sort of, judge and spy in low league football, and you said you hadn't seen any of the teams in League One. So this question might get tumbleweed as well. Name a player that you've spotted this season when you've been watching Charlton. A lower league player. Whoa, let me finish. It's not a university challenge. Name a player from the lower leagues who Premier League managers should be looking to buy this summer. Who's really impressed you?
I think I'll go with... I'll stick with Charlton. There's been a lot of problems down there, but what they have done consistently is developed good young players. I mean, they had Lookman last year who came through and has done really well. Got a big move at Everton. Hit a bit of a buffer, but then you've got to give him time to push on, and perhaps next season he'll get more of a go. And there's a young lad there who plays centre half called Ezra Konzi, who has come in as a teenager, established himself as quite a regular, playing centre half and played at full back as well.
What sort of player is he? Who's he? Is he a young who? Young Rio?
Well, I wouldn't put him in that sort of bracket, but he's
a young Gus Caesar.
He can play. Yeah, Gus Caesar. He can, and he's got good feet. He can play well, and he's very. I can see a lot of similarity with him with another youngster Charlton had a couple of years ago who's gone on to a big Joe Gomez, who's gone to Liverpool. I think it's key that these players, if they can get sort of a good 40 or 50 games under their belt, a bit like the midfielder who's had bad luck with injuries, who moved up after they got relegated, Jordan Cousins, who went to QPR, did really well in staying at Charlton because he got 100 games under his belt by the time he was 21, so he can build on that. If Konzi can get another game...
How's you spelling Konzi?
Konzi.
Okay. Ezra Konzi?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I think he could
What's
push
he
on
worth?
with a full
what did
season.
you pay for him? 4?
Well, yeah, but... Yeah.
Okay.
3.5 million.
That'll do. Radio. Adrian, there's loads of sort of issues that are kind of, coming to what look like a kind of inevitable conclusion, but there must be a surprise somewhere out there. So tell me something surprising that's going to happen between now and the end of the football season. That's a horrible question, isn't it, that? That's really a real tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, trying to pick the upset towards the end of the season isn't...
Come on, is there a team that's going to get sucked into the Premier League relegation battle or, I don't know.
I reckon Swansea are down there.
You got them down?
Yeah, I've got Swansea down.
Top 4 now are going to be the top 4 for the Premier League, are they?
There's still a chance Liverpool could mess that up, but realistically, with the fixtures United have left, that should be sorted as well.
So there'll be no surprises, no?
I think Man United are too short for the Europa League. That's the only one. I think they could get nipped there, but
okay,
that's the best.
If you think of one between now and the end of the transmission, then just butt in, okay? And so I've thought of a surprise, all right? Right, okay. Dan, which question are you going to take?
I'll take the League One question. I actually really do fancy Bradford for those playoffs. They have been very strong second half of the season.
I thought you took Scunthorpe.
No, not me.
No,
I didn't
Steve
do
did
that.
it.
Steve Davis did it.
Steve Davis did it.
I'm not going
So we're
against
covering all the
bases. No, I just think that since the turn of the year, they got Charlie Wykin up front. He's been scoring a lot of goals. They got a big centre forward from Carlisle. They're used to playing as well in front of big crowds. Their average gates at Bradford are in around 17,000, 18,000.
It's tuppence for a season ticket there, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But I just think that will, and they've got a very strong home record in front of that crowd. I think I'm not even sure they've lost.
Short, though, Dan, are they?
They are short.
I mean, at what point do they become too short?
Yeah, I just fancy them above the others. I'm not convinced by the others, and I think at Wembley, be another big crowd. They're used to playing in front of that big crowd, and I think that they're a good side as well.
Okay, you're all over Bradford. Wilco, which question do you want?
Champions League final. I like Juventus. I think we're living in the age of the team rather than the star player, and all their components are there. And
saw that in the goal, didn't we? The first goal. That was
they were great.
Wasn't it?
They just did such a job last night, didn't they, in Monaco? Just went. And I think they can. I definitely think, and I hope they do as well, because I'd love to see Buffon win a Champions League.
Yeah, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it? But also, I really hope they're wearing their home kit, because there is no sexier football kit in the world than a Juve black and white stripes.
For the upstarts that we've had over the years, like Monaco, it would be great to have a proper Champions League final between two giants of European football.
No question. Okay, Adrian, which one do you want?
Yeah, I'm going for the Champions League, and again, I'm kind of with Juve here. I just think they are. They're a great team. The odds are about right, but I do like them. Better defensively, and they've done so well against Barca and the rest. I'd like to see them in the final and beat Real.
I'll do my best Simon Cowell here. Juventus, you've got 4 yeses. Okay, right. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll look at the weekend.
Here's Paddy's latest offer. It's 2 up, you win. We'll pay out immediately if the team you back goes 2 goals up. Available in all Premier League and La Liga matches. Not available in shops. T&Cs apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
I'm still beating myself up about that impression. It was more like Cyril Fletcher when I think about it, wasn't it? Do you remember in That's Life? Is that before your time? Cyril Fletcher, the old boy. They used to do a little bit with vegetables shaped like willies and misprints in local spelling, and then he'd hand back to Esther Ranson. Friday night, this was a good idea. So they thought, right, we'll have a Friday night game towards the end of the season. We'll pick 2 teams that have got no known friction. Fans got to travel for miles apart. We'll have it at a ground that's absolutely tried and tested, no issues with crowd control. So, Adrian Croak, West Ham versus Tottenham. How do you bet?
West Ham are 7-1. The draw is 15-4, and Tottenham are 2-5 here.
7-1 West Ham. I know everything has its price, doesn't it, Dan? 7-1.
Yeah, it does. It's amazing, the prices. But looking at it, I do fancy Spurs to win. But you wouldn't be backing them at that price. West Ham won 3 of the last 5 home games against Spurs. Has been a tough fixture for Spurs. But I think the change of the conditions there. Going to Upton Park was always such a bear pit atmosphere, hard to play there. I think it's totally different matter with the London Stadium. And Spurs have just got it back now, haven't they? After that semi-final, done a few strange selections there with a team with Son at wing back. They've got back to basics really the last 2 games, playing really well, best defence in the league, and I just think Spurs will get it done. But they have been taking their time. There've been some resistance last couple of games. Palace, didn't get the job done till the second half. Same against Arsenal. So I was looking at that angle. West Ham have been tightening up at the back as well. A couple of clean sheets recently. So I looked at the half-time, full-time draw, half-time Spurs, full-time 16-5. Looks a good bet.
16-5.
Yeah.
Okay, Wilco, what do you think will happen?
I was looking at West Ham's win. They've had 10 wins this season, and the people they've beaten, with no disrespect to your boys, they've beaten Palace twice, Swansea twice, Bournemouth, Sunderland, Burnley, Hull, Middlesbrough and Southampton. So Southampton at 9th for the highest. The only team not in the bottom 7 that they've beaten. So you may scoff at 2-5 Spurs, but looking at that sort of thing, Spurs should win, but it is a skinny price, so I'll be looking elsewhere. I think Spurs defenders are coming more into games in an attacking sense, and we saw Vertonghen against Arsenal. He had a couple of decent efforts, but Alderweireld's looking dangerous at set pieces. They've got this great near post corner. They've played it a couple of times each. It's not quite as familiar as the one they used to play at Teddy Sheringham, but they're putting Eriksen's putting it into the near post, and Alderweireld's attacking it, and they're coming close. And I think it might just be worth having a poke on him at 25-1 each way for the first goal.
Okay, jolly good. What do you think will happen, Adrian?
Yeah, I think Spurs will probably win it as well here. The prices towards the end of the season, it's always so hard to judge when motivation comes in. It is a very short price. You'd never see it at the start of the season, I don't think. But I'd be going for Spurs, maybe -1 here at 11-10.
Okie doke. Stick with you at 12:30 on Saturday. It's Man City versus Palace. Man City, very erratic, aren't they? You never quite know what you're going to get with them. But I slagged off Guardiola in my column last week, so that will come back to haunt me. So give some prices for 6-0 Man City, Adrian. Give us the match prices, go on.
Man City 1-4, draws 11-2, and Crystal Palace are 10-1 here.
We'll stick with you, Adrian. What's going to happen?
Yeah, again, Palace should realistically be safe at this stage. There's still an outside chance they can get dragged in, but I mean, they'd have to be very bad to get pulled back into it. I think around 39 points.
You say that, but we've got our last 3 games are City away, Hull at home, Man United away. So if we were to lose all them, which we conceivably could, of course, it does give Hull and Swansea a target to aim at, doesn't it?
Swansea's running looks pretty decent as well. They could win some games. Yeah.
Don't say that. Oh, right, so go on then, Adrian. What's your score prediction here?
Yeah, I think City will do it. Probably 2 or 3-0. You can get City here at a -2 of 15-8. Probably a little.
So they've got to win by 3.
Yeah, I think the 15-8 is a little short. I'd be looking more towards something along the lines of Gabriel Jesus at first goal scorer. He didn't start last week. He came on, I think. I can't remember fully now, but Pep does definitely prefer him, and you can get him here at 130 to score first.
Okay, Dan. What do you think?
I've got exactly the same tip. Gabriel Jesus' first goal at 130. He played against Middlesbrough, got his goal, didn't he? The equaliser there, the second equaliser. With this game, I would have actually fancied Palace as an outsider at the odds if Sacco had been playing
so
and fit,
massive
because they are set up actually, to play against the big teams, to defend deep, and got great players to hit on the counter attack as well. But and a great target man for set pieces as well in Benteke. But I just think I watched the Burnley game. I thought part of it was Sacco, part of it was tiredness as well. They looked out on their feet against Spurs, so the tiredness won't be so much of an issue now, having had the extra time to recover. But defensively, I thought they were so much poorer without him in the side.
Well, we've lost our first 3 choice centre-backs with Sacco, Tompkins and Dan.
Yeah.
So we're down to Delaney and Kelly. Kelly's done really well
there.
Kelly's
Delaney's
done very well.
Okay, but I just think 2 together, you need Sacco with one or the other to knit it together. So, and you're away to arguably the best attacking team in the Premier League, especially with Jesus fit again now. So I think the price is, they're still a little bit too short, City, but I would be on Jesus for first goal.
Okie dokes. Wilco?
Yeah, there's not a lot of value there. I was amazed that overs is only freeze on, but I think it will be a game where there are plenty of goals. We've talked about Palace's issues at the back with Sacco's absence, but City haven't looked too inspiring at the back either. I mean, 3 home clean sheets in 13 matches is not something that's very inspiring. So I was tempted by Man City and both teams to score, but 6-5 is too skinny for that. So I'm going to take a chance on Palace, causing them a few problems, and I would have a token poke on 13-5 Palace to score more than 1 goal.
More than 1 goal? 13-5?
Yeah.
Blimey. OK, I hope you're right. 5:30, Swansea Everton. This is a tricky one, isn't it? Much closer than the first 2 games we've talked about. What's the latest betting from Paddy Power, Adrian?
So we've got Swansea at 7-4. The draw here is 5-2, and Everton at 6-4.
It's a tricky old test, Dan, this, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a good time to play Everton at the moment. I think the Chelsea game, they went out like a light really in the last half hour there. The game before that, West Ham had loads of injuries and was still the better side against Everton. So I think Everton they're not going to finish anywhere other than 7th now. They can't get any lower. They're not going to catch any of the teams highly unlikely above them. So I just think they're a very good team to play at this stage. And Swansea are picking up. They had the Stoke result where they, deservedly won. I know Man United, it was a good time to play them, but they still probably should have won the game. Really, I mean, the penalty was a wrong decision. So I just think that they are picking up, and I'll take Swansea to win this one. I would make them slight favourites, and they're slight outsiders. So I'll go with Swansea.
Dan thinks Swansea will win. Who do you think, Ian?
Yeah, I agree. I think they played very well at Old Trafford. They've had a couple of narrow defeats on the road, but their home form's been pretty good. The only team that have beaten them in the last 6 at home was Spurs, and they were winning with 2 minutes to go in that game. Yeah. So they should be pretty confident. Clement's got them much more organised. And it's just going to be a case of whether he's going to have it's going to prove that he had enough time to sort everything out.
He's very unlucky in that the job that's happening at Hull is just miraculous, isn't it? Normally, you'd say that sort of recovery would have been good enough to get him out of the trouble, wouldn't it?
And and there's negatives about Everton as well. They were poor against Chelsea last week, and equally as dismal at West Ham the week before. They've won 2 of their last 15 on the road. Not much of a stat for a team in their lofty position. So, I'm on the Swans as well.
The 2 lads love the Swans. Who do you like, Adrian?
Well, I've just found my Premier League upset for the end of the season. Anyway, Harry Kane for the top goal scorer.
Oh God, don't say that. I'm on Lukaku. If that goes down as well, I'm done for.
So yeah, Everton are pretty much gone on holidays at this stage. I mean, they can't do much here. Hence Swansea 7-4. Possibly the draw might be it here. I mean, Swansea still have the absolute worst defense in the league, and Lukaku will want to wrap up top goal scorer, so he will be trying to score this weekend. So maybe take the draw here.
Take the draw. What's the latest on the Golden Boot then?
Latest on the Golden Boot is Lukaku is 2-7 and Harry Kane is 5-1.
And what's there? 3 between them, isn't it?
3 between them, yeah.
3 between them. Honestly, don't. I mean, my anti-post garden has fallen apart a little bit. Well, I say it's fallen apart. I've got Plymouth, Newcastle, Chelsea, and Scunthorpe in each way multiples. So if Newcastle and Plymouth can win, then I'm in absolutely. It's all good. Yeah. It's all good. But it's kind of wilting a little bit, so I'm slightly concerned. Right, let's get the Saturday best bets.
This will not be beaten.
Dan Childs?
I'm going to go for Aston Villa at home to Brighton.
Oh, good man. That's what I like to hear.
Playing for his bonus
here. Please be right.
They've won 6 of their last 7 home games. I know they were terrible last week at Blackburn, and the man Steve Bruce said so as well. But it was a game where even their own supporters were cheering for the other side because they wanted to increase the chance of Birmingham going down. So I think Bruce will really be getting into them this week to play well in their last home game. The other side is Brighton have really, lost the plot since going up, really. Lost at Norwich deservedly on the Friday night, and they lost home to Bristol City last time out. So, it's hard to just switch it on after you've lost it a little bit, and I think this will be a tough game for them.
Come on, Jedi. Lead those villains to victory. Wilco, what's your best bet of the weekend?
My best bet, I'm in the Championship as well. I'll be going for Bristol City to beat Birmingham. I know I put Birmingham up to lose against Huddersfield last week when we got done by a team selection of 10 reserves, which is a bit unfortunate. But this should be a lot tougher, and Dan's just remarked upon Bristol City's win over Brighton. They weren't slacking off that day, even though they're safe. So
were they safe when they'd won at Brighton, though? Or did they need something out of that?
They were either safe or they were virtually
all
but mathematically.
And they have finished the season well. They've won their last 4 at Ashton Gate, scoring 12 goals in those games. Birmingham not up to much. Not reading too much into the win last week. So 6-4 Bristol City.
Okay, Adrian, what's your best bet of the weekend?
I'm going to go with Hertha Berlin at home to Leipzig.
Oh yeah? Why?
Yeah. Berlin again, they've came off the ball a bit, but Leipzig are pretty much guaranteed second place now, so they don't have much left to play for either. Berlin have been fantastic at home all season. They've beaten Dortmund there, drawn with Bayern Munich, so to get them at, I think you still get them at 11-4. Just seems a bit too big for a home price for Hertha.
Righty-ho. I'm going to go in Sunday's game. I've looked at this and looked at it. I know that, Mourinho says he's going to toss it off, but I could not back Arsenal with stolen money at evens there. So I'm going to go Man United, draw and double result. Sorry, that's the worst explained bet ever. Man United to win or draw, the double chance at 4-5. OK, competition time every week. Our sponsors, Paddy Power, give listeners the chance to win a free £25 or €25 bet. There's a competition on the Racing Review Show with Maddie on Monday, and there's also one here every Thursday. All you have to do is answer the question and tweet your answer with the hashtag Postcast. Last week's winner was Raymond Doyle, who correctly answered that Newcastle are the team who are set to join Brighton in the Premier League next season. Well done, Raymond. You win a free £25 or €25 bet based on your location. Raymond Doyle, probably English, isn't he? Doyle's an Irish surname, but I'd be backing Raymond Doyle to be from England.
Galway.
He's from Galway. There you go. I can't even get that right. Thanks. They normally go on the bloody running order, Joe. Right, OK, the question today. Who is the current manager of AS Monaco? That's not very hipster, spelling it out, AS Monaco. Who's the manager of Monaco, as us hipsters say? The winner will be announced in next Thursday's Football Postcast. They will have the free bet credited to their Paddy Power account, and you can open one at paddypower.com.
Here's Paddy Power's new and exclusive kicker feature. Simply place a bet, add a kicker, and if your team wins big, you'll win bigger. 18+, gambleaware.co.uk. T&Cs apply.
Hello. It's Bruce Millington, Dan Childs, Ian Wilkerson and Paddy Powers, Adrian Croak, and we're looking ahead to 2 live Sunday televised Premier League games and a Monday night football as well. So loads and loads of great football this weekend and some difficult clashes for punters to try and solve. Starting at 1:30 on Sunday with Liverpool versus Southampton. There have been over 2.5 goals in Liverpool's last 5 home games and in 5 of Southampton's last 6 away games. So will the guys go for goals? Before we get their verdicts, what's the latest betting from Paddy Power?
So Liverpool here are 4-7, the draw is 100-30, and Southampton are 9-2.
OK, Dan, lead on.
I think Southampton will give them a tough game, actually. I mean, they've played each other 3 times this season. Southampton have kept 3 clean sheets. The 2 semi-finals in the League Cup and the 0-0 draw at St Mary's. So I just think I watched Liverpool at Watford on Monday, and I was more disappointed with how Watford played than impressed by Liverpool. I thought Watford didn't challenge them at all. They looked like they were on the beach, similar to the whole game before. So I wouldn't go too much by that performance. They're still missing Henderson, still missing Sane. And Southampton against Hull, I mean, you could look at that and think, are they on their holidays? I just think the balance wasn't right there. They played sort of 2 number 10s with Boufal and Tadic, who normally they play one or the other. They're not going to do that at Anfield. They'll be a bit more solid, and I just think they'll be tough to beat. I'm looking at the draw at 27-10.
The draw, OK. Wilco, what do you think?
Well, Liverpool seem to have... it's in their hands now to finish in the top 4, isn't it? But they have slipped up in the last couple of home games. They drew with Bournemouth and then lost to your boys. It'll be a big boost to them if Coutinho's fit after he limped off on Monday. But the big plus for me for Liverpool is the fact that Lallana's back. I really like it. He gives them so much energy, and he's one
quality.
He's one of my favourite players.
All together.
He's one of my favourite players. He's demonstrated that in his performances for England over the last couple of years. Knits it all together. He's a goal threat as well. He's not scored for a while, admittedly, but I think he could rise to the big occasion against his old club. He's 6-1 for the first goal. Still a bit of each way in that, I think.
What are you going to tip, Adrian?
Yeah, I do actually think Liverpool are decent enough. A bit short, but I would back them at 4-7 here. I think Southampton are pretty much gone to the beach. There's issues with Puel there as well. Not sure if he'll still be there in the summer, so how willing the players...
He's done a good job, hasn't he? I don't know why he's under pressure.
Yeah.
Who knows?
What was he going to do?
They might have someone lined up. They're pretty good at finding managers, aren't they? Southampton.
Yeah.
OK, so what are you going to go for, you biased scouser?
Again, Liverpool with probably one of the worst defences in the top 6. I might be going with the result in both teams to score here, where you can take them at 21-10.
Rightio. Quickly, let's try and see how many we can get to. They played for both clubs. It's the easiest they played for both clubs there is, isn't it? Let's try and get 8 together. Come on, quick.
Jimmy Case.
Oh, well, that's a hard one. Go for the
the
low-hanging fruit first. OK, Jimmy Case, Lallana. Lovren, Mane, Klein, yeah, of course. That's 5. Any advance? Mark Wright, that's a very good one. Yeah, Kevin Keegan.
Oh, yeah,
Kevin Keegan, 7. Come on, chaps. Let's think. There's got to be one more. We can't stop yet. One more. Oh, bollocks, 7. That's not bad. Right, 4 o'clock. Arsenal versus Man United, Frank Stapleton. United, it's still amazing this, isn't it? Because they're languishing outside the Champions League, and yet they're undefeated in their last 25 Premier League games. Peter Crouch. Well done. Yeah, that was very good.
Stock answer.
We got 8. I bet we get to 10 in dribs and jabs before we finish this. Arsenal have won 8 of their last 10 home games. So, a difficult puzzle. Arsenal favs, and what's the latest 90-minute betting, Adrian Croak?
So we've got Arsenal here at evens, the draw is 13-5, and Man United are 27-10.
Let's stick with you, Adrian. What do you think is going to happen here?
I first saw that Arsenal price and thought it was a little too short, but again, United are just going to be coming back from the Europa League. I think they're probably going to start coming. If Liverpool have won against Southampton, Arsenal are going to go off even shorter. United just aren't going to put in the effort. It's a hard one. If I'm backing anyone here, I actually think I would go for Arsenal.
OK, I didn't understand a word of that because I was trying to think of players to get to they play for both clubs. So, Adrian tipped whatever he just said. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Arsenal as well, actually. I just think United, I mean, the last real chance they had of making the top four was that Swansea game, and they were still awful in that match as well. And this game, being between the Europa matches, I just think that with the running they got, still got to play at Arsenal, still got to play at Spurs, Man United. I just think they've given up the ghost on this top four now. Man City and Liverpool's run-ins are very, very good as well. So realistically, they've got very little chance now, top four. And I think Arsenal probably got a better chance actually at top four. If they can put a run together, they're more likely to put pressure, I think, on those teams above them. So this is the cup final still a way away yet. So this is a big, big game for Arsenal, a must win really to have a chance at top four, and I think they'll win it.
Righty-ho. Wilco, what do you think?
Bruce Grobbelaar.
Did he?
Yeah,
He did, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. Anyway,
Jamie Redknapp.
Jamie Redknapp.
That's your 10. That's it.
Well, yeah,
We're
but
weighed in.
no, we need a team. We need to go. We need to go
I'm
all
not
the
your
way
goalkeeper.
there.
You know,
We need to go away there.
Anyway, this game, Man United. A lot's going to depend on what happens on in Vigo. I mean, if you say, they're going to prioritise that. It's going to be a tough ask if they lose by a couple of goals. If they lose 2-0 on Thursday, then all of a sudden the league becomes a lot more important. Arsenal need to put in a show after not turning up at Spurs last week. So I think it will depend on what happens to United on Thursday. But there's scope for this being a low-scoring game, which makes a draw a big runner. So 13-5, I think a draw is a decent bet.
Okay, Monday Night Football sees Chelsea take on Middlesbrough in a game that, when they decided this was going to be live on Monday, probably did seem quite promising. Chelsea vying for the championship, for the title rather. Middlesbrough battling to stay up, but now they're both pretty much done deals. So I guess, Adrian, you're pretty much pricing this up on the basis that Chelsea are going to absolutely waltz to victory here.
Indeed we are. Chelsea are 1-6. The draw is 13-2 at Middlesbrough, 16-1.
Okay, Dan Childs, you go first.
I think Chelsea will win this comfortably. And I mean, normally you could see them almost settling for like a 2-0 result, and Middlesbrough almost settling for the same as well in the middle of the season. But I think Middlesbrough, I mean, they are having a bit of a go at the moment. I mean, the Man City game, they didn't play as if they felt they were down, and I think they're going to go into this and they're going to have a go again, because as unlikely as it seems, if they did.
Oh! David Speedy.
Oh,
that's our 11. Sorry. As Samuel L. Jackson said in Pulp Fiction, did I break your concentration?
As unlikely as it seems, if they did win the game, they would have a chance still of staying up, a realistic chance. So I think they've got to have a go, and that's going to leave them even more exposed at the back. So instead of 2-0 Chelsea, I'm looking at Chelsea 3-0, Chelsea 4-0, around 6-1, 10-1.
Okay. Wilco.
yeah, I'll be betting on a couple of correct scores as well. It's 1-8, 1-6. Beg pardon. It's not the sort of first I want to be getting stuck into. Even though Chelsea, I think they're just going to keep ticking on until they get over the line now. The game at Everton on paper did look their toughest test, and they waltzed that. And I expect them to win quite comfortably. A little bit different, perhaps 2 might do. I'm on the vid, so 2-0's 5-1, 3-0 6-1. I'll be perming them.
Okay, jolly good. Thank you very much indeed, gentlemen. Thank you for watching or listening, and do join us next Thursday for another Racing Post Football Postcast.
Check out Paddy's new kicker feature. If you fancy your team to run riot, add a kicker to your bet. And if your team win big, you win bigger. Paddy Power, you beauty.